Even if you don't play sports, everyone knows an athlete. From your younger brother or sister who's on a high school sports team to our beloved Nittany Lions that hit the field every Saturday to bring Penn State eternal football glory. All of these athletes are stars in their arena, but one misstep could put their well-being in jeopardy. According to the CDC, there are over 1.5 million sports and recreation-related concussions a year. However, only 2% of these injuries are treated properly. Although all the rest of these people, some of them do heal okay, but some of them don't and suffer repercussions for many years to come. Over the past 5 months, I've been dealing with the repercussions of concussion. I was in a bad cycling crash and suffered multiple blows to the head. However, I did not seek medical attention, I was not removed from play, and I resumed physical and cognitive activity immediately. Basically, all big no-nos. To this day, I am still suffering the consequences from that crash. However, through this presentation, I want to teach you guys to take concussion seriously and follow a process to return to play and daily life after a concussion. This is a 3-step process, which includes first being removed from play and seeking medical attention, secondly, eliminating stimulation to allow the brain to heal, and finally, gradually returning to play and everyday activities. But what really happens when a player goes down in the field with a blow to the head? What is a concussion? Well, basically, the brain moves inside the skull, hitting the side of the skull. This causes stress and strains on the neurons and nerves on the brain, which ultimately causes swelling and functional disturbances within the brain. This translates to physical and cognitive deficits. According to Dr. Goodman, who is a leading researcher with the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, there are 3 different types of symptoms that are used to diagnose concussions: physical, cognitive, and emotional. Physical symptoms are the ones most associated with concussions, including headaches, nausea, dizziness, trouble with sleeping, and sensitivity to light and noise. But there are also cognitive issues that are just as important. These would include no sense of time, difficulty linking ideas together, and memory loss. And just as important as both of those groups would include the behavioral symptoms, including irritability, nervousness, and sadness. All of these symptoms demonstrate that the brain is not working properly. But at the same time, I've learned from Dr. Goodman that you don't need to have any of these symptoms in order to have a concussion, because some people have a delayed onset of symptoms, or just their symptoms aren't really that bad. Therefore, it's very important to be removed from play if there's ever a blow to the head or neck. So now you're safe, evaluated, what do you do next? Well, basically you need to heal up. This includes physical and cognitive healing. Physical healing is what you would think of. If you are sick with the flu, you wouldn't go to soccer practice. So if you're suffering from concussion symptoms, you wouldn't put yourself in a similar situation. But cognitive healing is a little less straightforward. This includes complete rest, including not going to class or doing homework, not reading, writing, even activities such as going on the computer, texting, or watching TV. This is because the brain uses so many different areas when it does activities such as watching TV, including the visual and auditory processing units, critical thinking, memory, or even where your body is in space. All this energy from those activities aren't being used to heal, like if you're doing a simple process like sleeping or just resting. When you're sleeping, the body completely shuts down and heals, and the brain needs to do this in order to heal from a concussion. So after you follow these guidelines, are completely symptom-free, you can transition back into everyday activities and full contact sports. Everyday activities are a little bit more straightforward. Basically, if you have symptoms with an activity, you don't do it. If you don't have symptoms, you do. If you get symptoms with an activity, you should stop, let your body rest and regroup, and then fully transition back into the activity. It's really important that you don't push their symptoms, because this causes a slower healing process and ultimately could lead to a much, much longer healing time. Transitioning back into full contact sports is more of a multi-step process though. It would start with something as simple as walking or running, because your body needs to fire up these areas of the body it doesn't usually use. If you're symptom-free there, you can slowly transition into no contact practice, and finally, full game play. It's important that this is a slow transition to allow the body to recover and make sure it's fully rested before you go into the next step of activity. It's also important that you take 24 to 72 hours between each step to make sure this is true. Once you're back onto full game play, your life is back to normal. You're symptom-free, you're back in the sport you love, and basically, life's great again. So, in conclusion, it's important that athletes are immediately removed from the game and seek medical attention upon a hit to the blow or neck, or take time to rest and gradually return to play. The next time you see an athlete go down in the field, before encouraging them to suck it up and take one for the team and get back out there, think about the repercussions of concussion. It could be your loved one that has to deal with all of these problems. So remember, it's better to miss one game than the rest of the season. Any questions?